Hey, I'm here to talk about tyranny and coaching, as well as our knowledge of ourselves and our relationship with ourselves. So, tyranny and coaching are actually very tightly related because they both have to do with pointing out someone else's flaws. But a tyrant does it to condemn and belittle and mock and undermine the person, the subject of their scrutiny. A coach also scrutinizes, but the coach is committed to the welfare, well being, performance, and evolution of the subject of their scrutiny. So pay close attention. Both the coach and the tyrant are looking for the flaws of the person that they are looking at, but they have very different intentions. So, what does this have to do with self knowledge? Both the tyrant and the coach are increasing the self knowledge of the person who they are talking about. When you are coaching someone, you have to be very, very critical. You have to be laser focused on what the person is doing right and, more importantly, what they're doing wrong. To be a tyrant, you have to be very closely attentive to what the person is doing wrong so that you can cut them down with the evidence of their insufficiency. So self-knowledge is something that both a coach and a tyrant can enhance. That means there's actually lessons in both of their commentary, but we don't want to hear the tyrant's commentary, and we have a very good excuse. They don't mean well for us. We shouldn't listen to them. The coach, if they're doing a good job, can prevent us from being defensive and can let us absorb the self-knowledge that they want to impart. Now, I'll point out that we don't have to be triggered by the tyrant's oppression. We can actually simply take the wisdom in what they are saying. If someone breaks up with you, or you break up with someone, or you betray someone, and they have a lot of bad things to say about you, they're taking on a tyrannical attitude towards you. They're not listening or conversing, but they're yelling and screaming. There still may be very good self-knowledge for you to extract if you have the ears to do it. If you don't, then you're just going to say they're crazy, they're out of control, they're emotional, and you won't listen to what they have to say. Perfect excuse. But if your commitment is to self-knowledge, because you've been convinced that it's the only way forward, you have to know what's wrong with you now in order to elevate. Then you can take the tyrant's tirade against you and extract value from it. So the last question was about our relationship to ourselves. And the relationship, the reason that's relevant, is that we both have tyrannical and coaching tendencies within ourselves that we then project onto ourselves. When we don't do something right and we are ashamed of it, or we actually prevent ourselves from doing anything at all because of the risk of something going wrong, that is a tyrannical posture. That is a tyrannical attitude to take towards one's own life and the experiments and bets that we are forced to run in our lives. In medicine, it's true that we have a very low tolerance for mistakes, and so we have to be somewhat tyrannical, somewhat constrained, and on somewhat of a tight leash with respect to what we allow to transpire in the clinical setting. That's good. But for that to then contaminate the way we live our lives, that is an insidious and degrading influence. If we start to feel like we can't do anything unless we know we can do it perfect, that's going to be a major deterrent to evolution, growth, and going to the next level the next chapter, the next identity of our own life. So our relationship to ourselves can be defined largely as one of tyrannical oppression of ourselves or of encouraging coaching. And you can guess which one I think we should be moving towards. All right, thanks.